If you're into slow burn thrillers that keep you guessing and maybe even a little uncomfortable, this one might be for you. Guess what, guys? I get to introduce it this time. Today we're talking about Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen on Netflix, a limited series that blends romance, mystery, and something a little darker underneath. Stay till the end of our spoiler-free review for our recommendation and comment section.
We normally review new movie releases in theaters, so this one's going to be slightly different. This show comes from the team behind Stranger Things, the Duffer Brothers, so right away expectations are super high.
Yeah, a little too high.
But instead of monsters and jump scares, this one leans way more into tension, relationships, and a very slow unraveling of what's actually going on.
Slow is an understatement, guys.
Yeah. What's this show actually about? At its core, it's about a couple, Rachel and Nikki, heading into their wedding weekend at their family's remote cabin. But almost immediately, things feel off. There are strange warnings, uncomfortable family dynamics, and this constant feeling that something is about to go very, very wrong. And the closer they get to their wedding day, the worse that feeling gets.
Tone and pacing. This is where we need to set expectations.
Yes.
This is not a traditional horror show.
No.
For most of its runtime, this is a slow burn thriller, like I said. Very dialogue heavy. Yes. I personally was bored for quite a bit of it,
yes,
but there were bits and pieces that kind of caught my attention.
Yeah.
Focused more on relationships and tension than scares.
Yeah.
There are moments where you think it's about to get full horror, but it holds back for a long time. It literally doesn't actually become horror until maybe the final 30 minutes, guys.
Yeah, honestly, for the first few episodes, I kept waiting for something to happen, and it just kept building, almost to the point where I was like, okay, where's this going?
But at the same time, that slow build is intentional. And I think that's where it kind of keeps your interest, because it's like, what's gonna happen? You're constantly trying to figure out, is it the family? Is it something supernatural? Or is it something else entirely? And the show does a really good job of making you question literally everything.
Yeah, I will say 90% of the content from the first 3 episodes are completely pointless. By episode 5, Holly had called the ending on episode 8, which is the final episode. I was impressed. I was so confused during this show because I wasn't sure of these specific rules that these characters had to follow.
Characters and performances, guys. The performances are actually one of the strongest parts of the show. Rachel carries most of the emotional weight. Nikki feels very grounded and real, and the family is just uncomfortable, but in the best way possible.
Yeah, the guy who played Nikki, he stood out the most to me. He was a very good actor. He was in The White Lotus.
Okay, yeah.
He was really good. He plays that line between normal guy and something's not right really well.
But the whole family, to me, just makes you feel very
uneasy,
awkward and uncomfortable, but I really enjoyed it. The show itself is really lackluster and very just boring to me because it was just very slow until that very last episode, but the family itself, I really enjoyed the family dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also very super tense throughout the whole show too, and you feel like an outsider the entire time. What the heck did I just say?
Oh, where am I from? I'm gonna keep it in.
What did I just say?
The dog's irritated.
You feel like an outsider the entire time, just like Rachel does. And I know we're saying all these different character names, but
the main characters are Rachel and Nikki.
All right, what works? The atmosphere is strong the whole way through. The music, that 50s, 60s style soundtrack adds a really unique vibe, and I actually really, really loved it.
Yeah, I want to look up the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And the show keeps planting little details that make you question everything, like we said.
There's definitely moments where we paused and started throwing out theories, and when the show gets you doing that, that is a good show.
Yeah.
What didn't work? For me, this probably didn't need to be 8 episodes. I mean, it 100% did not need to be 8 episodes, but that's typical Netflix. But they could have done every bit of detail that they gave you in this in half as many episodes. But again, that's typical Netflix.
They have to have those filler guys.
Yeah. You could feel the stretch in the middle of the show. You could feel the stretch in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, those first 3 episodes, you gotta stick through it, guys. But that's what we said. It's very slow paced, and there are parts where it does slow down a lot. I mean, this is something that we've been saying a lot through this. If you're expecting constant action or constant scares, this will feel quite slow at times.
Definitely.
I mean, like we're saying, this is a very slow burn. You have to get through it to get those little details to figure out, is it this person? Is it that? Or what's going on? It's kind of a mind game until you get to that last episode to figure out, oh, that's what's going on.
There's a lot going on, and then
It ties together.
And tone-wise, it's a little confusing. It's not really horror. It's not fully thriller, and it's not quite drama either. It is dramatic. I mean, there was some times where I looked at her and I said, this is kind of soap opera-y. I mean, it was annoying, but I don't know. To each its own lane, whatever.
A dark soap opera, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, the show is based on certain rules that must be followed, and if you don't understand all of them, you'll be confused at times. And I definitely was, and I was asking her, and she was like, I don't even know what's going on right now.
When I finally got it, I finally was able to explain all of it to him, and then he was like, oh, okay.
Without even understanding all the rules specifically, she still called the show's ending.
All right, so final thoughts. This is definitely more about the journey than the destination
100%.
throughout the entire show. If you like character-driven stories with a lot of tension and mystery, underline that right there. This is worth checking out. Netflix warns in this show in every episode of violence, language, gore, and smoking, but those things aren't in every episode, guys. But in one episode, it does have a very loud 2-minute sex scene and the very sexually graphic results of that interaction. There is no warning, guys, of that anywhere. People will probably want that warning, especially if you're watching it with teens or if adults are watching it with
anyone
your
you're
parents.
related to that you don't want to see it.
Yeah, it would just be a very awkward scene, and that warning is not on there at all.
But beware that smoking, guys. You probably want to know about that.
Oh, yeah.
Just go in knowing this is a slow burn,
Yep.
and it's going to make you think more than it's going to scare you. I don't know how it could scare you at all.
So now on for our recommendation. We're not going to be, of course, saying anything about theater or anything like that because this one is on Netflix. So is this one worth watching, guys?
If you're into psychological tension, relationship drama, and unraveling mysteries, this one is worth your time. It's just going to be more of your time than you probably wish it was. But if you're expecting a straight up horror show, you're going to walk away quite frustrated.
Yep.
Like I said, it felt almost soap opera-y at times and went on way longer than necessary. But honestly, there were multiple times where I was so shocked that I sat up in my seat.
Yeah.
And I laughed a decent amount. I enjoyed the show, but it turned into a horror-esque thriller. It never truly became horror to us.
No.
There was no fear ever, but the horror that was there, it was really cool. It just took 7.5 episodes to get there,
Yep.
and there was only 8 episodes.
And I do want to add, it's more, like he said, a psychological thriller with maybe some horror-like elements, but in my opinion,
Mine too.
I didn't really think that it didn't really have too much horror in it.
Horror did not fit this category.
It would be more like there's some gore-like elements, maybe?
It was a macabre thriller. You could have easily seen everything that was in this episode, other than the sexually explicit content, on Criminal Minds.
Yeah, I mean, for them to even think that this was horror at all is kind of a joke.
Don't compare Criminal Minds to this show. There's
Oh,
no
no.
detective work or anything.
It just is a joke for horror fans for them to even label this as horror at all.
100%.
I don't want people going into this thinking that there's any form of horror at all.
I mean, there are
because-
scenes with like blood from the eyes and stuff, but it's just dark, macabre. It's not horror. There's no
No.
fear.
No, I was not scared at all. Didn't jump at all. I mean, nothing. I mean, the psychological thriller, definitely 100%. Horror, no, not at all. We review new releases, so you don't have to waste your time and money, but by now, you should know whether this one's worth watching for you.
But go in with the expectation that it's a dark, dramatic thriller, not a horror.
Let us know in the comments, did you see this show? And if you did, what did you guys think? And thank you for joining us on this awesome couch here, and don't forget, you matter to us.
If you want more reviews like this, subscribe to this channel because we post at least once a week right here. See you in the next review.
Bye, guys.